Hello everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very well. We're outside Stamford Bridge after a 1-0 win against Pafos in the Champions League. Listen, I don't remember playing Pafos, although I think we have played them in the past. I read the program and it said something about it, but I don't know. Anyway, I think we all expected a bigger result than this, Charlie, but a win is a win.
Yeah, a win's a win. We found the way through eventually, but I mean, yeah, it was a tough watch, mate. It wasn't the best, to be honest. It was pretty boring for large parts of it. I know they didn't really come to have a go. They hit the post in the first half or whatever, but yeah. The goalkeeper made a couple of decent saves. They defended reasonably well, and we eventually got the breakthrough from the corner. But we've got a lot of work to do. That from us, I thought it was really quite poor. I mean, against Brentford, we weren't great either, and this was a continuation, unfortunately. And as I said after Saturday, like short term, it's just about getting the results on the board. Long term, the performances are going to matter more. But we can't just ignore the fact that that was a real struggle against Pafos.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that was also credit to them as opposed to maybe? Well, because a lot of people, honestly, Charlie, are saying it was really, really poor. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it was really poor. I get it to a certain extent. When a team comes and sits back and defends and doesn't really come to play, and they just come for a draw, essentially. They almost got it. The onus is on you to go and break them down. But this is a repetitive pattern, mate. Rosinia said, "Judge me on the pitch." And I will judge you on the pitch, and what we're seeing on the pitch so far, admittedly in a short space of time, has not been particularly good. But as I said, results in the short term are the most important thing, but we're still seeing the same things. We're still seeing Gusto and Hato appear in a 10, which people slam the Resca for. We're still seeing Pedro Neto play a ridiculous amount of minutes, no matter how crap he's been playing recently. And we're still struggling big time to break down low blocks. So in that sense, nothing's really changed at all. So, it's one of those, isn't it, where you just got to hope with a bit more time on the training pitch, with more time to work with the players, that maybe we're gonna suddenly be a bit more expansive with our play. Maybe we're gonna find it a bit easier to break these teams down. I know Cole Palmer wasn't here tonight. That would have maybe made a difference. I know that Esteval only played a half, so and he was a bit brighter. It's just, do you know what it is with Esteval, right? It's just nice to have a wide player that actually runs and takes the man on. Garnacho, honestly, brother, Garnacho for me must be one of the worst 1v1 wingers I think I've ever seen. He struggles to take his man on every single time, and there's no surprise to me, right? That every time he starts, he doesn't look very effective at all, and when he's off the bench, he's much better. For me, you cannot be starting Garnacho and Neto. It's got to be one of them. You cannot start both of them, because that Garnacho-Neto combination is terrible, mate. It's really poor.
So you want to see Gittins start on the left?
Bro, Gittins or Esteval, or switch Neto to the left, and so just anything. But we cannot see Garnacho and Neto starting on a regular basis.
What about Delap up top?
Isolated, mate. I think I've seen a stat. He had 12 touches in 70 minutes on the pitch. He makes runs. He's not really getting picked out, and there's no creativity. When you've got no Palmer and no Esteval on the pitch, we're creating no chances. Neto and Garnacho put crosses in, most of them over here. They don't really create very much. So, yeah, we are struggling to create opportunities when neither of those players are on the pitch. So I wasn't really impressed with the wide players at all. I don't understand how Neto still plays so many minutes. I really don't get it.
He's been playing centrally as well, like as the game's gone on. It happened against Arsenal, positive impact, got an assist. Happened again today, like a little bit more central at times. So what do you think the thought process is there?
I'm not really sure, but the thing is, though, he's so one-footed, so he just comes inside anyways. I don't know if it's actually anything tactical that he's playing centrally. It's just the fact that he comes inside because he's so one-footed, so he just ends up drifting into the middle anyway. He for me, look, I like him. I'm not saying he's terrible or anything, but he shouldn't be playing anywhere near as many minutes as he is, given his current form. So I think he's been struggling for quite a while now.
It's a bit hypocritical, isn't it, with the whole medical team as well, that he's constantly getting minutes and then you're babysitting some of the other players.
Yeah, I mean, look, we haven't got access to the data, but it's funny how Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, you can run them into the ground, no problem, and they don't say anything. But with others, it's like, they can only play 45 minutes here, they can only do this and that or whatever. Palmer, it could have been planned to leave him out tonight. Rosinia saying he felt a bit of tightness in his thigh. You could tell after the game against Brentford, mate, he's got heavy strapping around that thigh. The groin's not quite right. He collapsed on a heap on the floor after the Brentford game. The guy's not fit. Let's just say how it is. He's not fit. We're in a situation where Palmer's basically playing 1 in 3 games at the moment. He's not right. He should have gone for the surgery. I know they want to delay the surgery. There's a surgery option available, which I'm sure there probably is. He should have taken it. I get it, he might well want to do that because of the World Cup, but right now, if Palmer's just playing 1 in 3 games, what's the point really?
Yeah, well, we had this debate with Reece James, but we haven't had a serious enough amount of time without Palmer to.
Well, 3 months around at the start of the season, but he missed virtually the whole first half of the season.
It's not like James, is it? I mean, different type of scenario. James was years of struggling.
Sure, but yeah, I mean, look, we obviously we got some results in the first half of the season without Palmer. But my point is that like if you can only play 1 in 3 games. Like, you're better off. I'd rather just have him be without him for an extended period, and then when he comes back, he's back. Rather than he comes back, he plays a game, he's missing for 2 games. He comes back, he plays a game, maybe he plays a couple of games, then he's missing for a few more games again. We need him available as often as possible, right, to qualify for the Champions League. If he's just playing 1 in 3 games, we're harming our own chances.
It is true. I mean, I'm a believer in resting a player for as long as necessary. I don't believe in rushing them back. I'm totally with you on that. We've had some bad experiences.
Obviously, no rushing back, but you know what I mean? Yeah. If it's just 1 in 3 games, as I said, it's just like...
You're leaning on the side of maybe you should get surgery.
Well, yeah, the option's there. I mean, he probably should have done that in the first place. He could have been back by now. I'm not saying I'm a medical expert by any stretch of the imagination, but it's clear that he's not right. And, you know, when he's missing games and he's strapping around his spine, he's obviously not, everything's not all well. Maybe he plays Sunday, I don't know, but... Yeah, I mean, that's something I think to keep an eye on. But other than that, mate, there really wasn't much to say about this performance. We got a goal from the corner eventually at the end with the Caicedo header. It's a nice little header.
A lot of shots from Caicedo today.
Yeah, we had a few shots. You know, I mean, yeah, we kind of dominated that game in terms of possession, but again, a lot of sideways and backwards, a lot of possession in kind of not really dangerous areas. Yeah, it was pretty boring. It was a tough watch. Same struggles as we've had under a number of managers.
Did you see similarities in this performance as to what we saw under Maresca? Or did you see any differences?
How many times have we seen that performance under Maresca? Fucking loads of times. There is no differences. We still see the fullbacks in a number 10 position. We still see Reece James playing in midfield, which is not a massive problem, but we still see Reece James playing in midfield. And as I said, we still see Pedro Neto playing more minutes than he should, and we're still struggling against low blocks. So there is no difference right now. And I get it, he's not been here very long, but on the small amount of stuff we've seen, right, there's no difference from what we were doing under Maresca to what we're doing now.
I would say the main difference is that we're not as set on a structure. We seem to give players a little bit more freedom, especially in that midfield, for example. It's not just take the ball, pass the ball, you run with it a little bit.
I mean, Racino does use the squad better, he makes better use of the subs, he does use the squad more. But
not in terms of the squad though, I'm talking about when you're on the pitch.
I'm not really noticing, I don't think so, no. I'm not thinking suddenly, oh my God, like the shackles are off and it's like, wow, these guys were held back so much. They weren't. Yeah. I'm not really, for me personally, I'm not seeing really anything different. Obviously, he switches things up tactically sometimes. You know, goes to the 3-man midfielder on the weekend against Brentford. He's more proactive with certain things like that. But generally speaking, from match to match, there's very, very little difference. And yeah, we're having the same old struggles. And that's now 2 wins, by the way. And don't get me wrong, winning when you're not playing well is a really important thing to have. But it's not sustainable in the long run. But short term, you can get away with it, and short term, we need those results. But if you're going to pick up good results in the long run, then you've got to find a way of playing better than we are.
What about, what's the thing with the goalkeeper as well? It took
Jorgensen looked, I think he was injured. Right. There's something not quite right. So okay. he was injured, so he went off.
I didn't know that.
I don't know how bad it is or anything, but obviously, you know, they kind of like to take precautions. He obviously felt he couldn't continue, so yeah, obviously he went off at half time. He didn't really have an awful lot to do in that first half anyway.
They hit the post, to be fair.
They did hit the post.
That was a great piece of play, mate. They built that up lovely.
But in terms of his overall play, like, yeah, he didn't really have anything to do, did he? So, yeah, mate, it was a pretty uneventful night, wasn't it? It's one of them games that you'll forget about very, very quickly, and there's not really any major talking points at all.
I'll tell you what, we've got an eventful one coming up though, mate. Napoli. That's going to be your first European as well.
Well, yeah, of the season, yeah. I mean,
away.
First Champions League away game, yeah.
Fuck, you did.
I did Conference League.
I always forget. But
you
did Poland,
yeah,
mate.
but Champions League though, isn't it?
Champions League.
Champions League different. Yeah, it's going to be tough.
You looking forward to it?
Yeah, looking forward to it, mate. It's going to be hard though. It's going to be difficult. Obviously, I think they need to win just to stay in the thing completely.
They only had a point more than Pafos.
Yeah, exactly, mate. They need to win to get into the playoffs anyway. So anything other than the win, then they're completely out. It's going to be a tough game. We're 8th now. We snuck into the top 8 with the way the results have gone over this round of fixtures. We have to win to qualify. A point you're relying on results to go for you, and you don't really want to be in that situation. So we've got to go there and win. It's going to be difficult, tough place to go. It'll be an intimidating atmosphere. They'll be bang up for it. They need to win, as I said, to get into the top 24. Tough game. If we play like we've had in the last couple of games, Brentford and tonight, I think we're going to struggle to get a result.
Thank you very much, my friend. Good to see you.
Nice one, bro.